Hey y'all, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you how I took this 1/4-inch underlayment plywood and turned it into a gorgeous shiplap feature wall. If you're interested to learn more, then keep watching. Cut your plywood to size using a table saw, or you can use a circular saw or jigsaw. If you do use a table saw, you will need 2 people for this, and I made each of the boards 6 inches wide. Sand your shiplap board edges so they're smooth. So once you've got all of your boards cut, then you can start hanging them. It's important to make sure that your very first board is straight and level because it is the jumping off point for all of the rest of the boards to kind of fall in line. And if the first one is off, then they're all going to be off and it's going to look weird. So take your time placing that first board and then secure it with brad nails. Some people use construction adhesive, but I just use a couple of brad nails, and then it's easy to remove if you make a mistake or if you ever change your mind. And then I do this trick with shiplap walls where I paint after each board I hang so that I can get a clean result when I'm painting, and it makes painting a lot easier and go a lot faster. That first row is always the trickiest to get straight and level, but once it is up, it is pretty smooth sailing the rest of the way down. You just have to make your cuts around outlets and any other obstacles, but it's pretty easy to just measure each board and then put it into place. And I used pennies as spacers, and then I cut each board to size. And to get a staggered look, you just take the cutoff from the last board in your row, and that starts your next row. And then if you just keep doing that, it gets you get this staggered stair look all the way down, and it's a very charming and rustic look. And again, don't forget the painting trick to paint your edges before you do your next row. Okay, so up until now I've had just boards to make cuts or to make straight cuts over outlets. But I just went and got this tool. It's called a contour gauge, just so you know. And you're able to push it to get around intricate corners. So this is the position of where I need to cut it out to go around my fireplace. And I'm going to cut this out of my jigsaw. I love the jigsaw because it's so versatile in what you can use it for, and I used this for my intricate cuts around my fireplace. And then in the last clip I showed you, I bought this tool called a contour gauge, and you press the needles of it into the edge of your design and it makes a little guide, and then you just trace that onto your wood and cut it out with your jigsaw. Simple, easy peasy, and then you have a perfect cut every time. Step is I'm going to just caulk all around these seams. I need to put a little piece of wood there just to make it extra seamless around the fireplace and up all along the top. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll move on to the next step. The next step is to use some wood putty and fill all of those nail holes that you made with your nail gun, and then you can let that dry and then sand them smooth and get ready for paint. The last step is to prime and paint your wood. I wanted a very classic farmhouse look, so I'm painting my wall white, And since primer is white, I just kind of combined this step. And since the plywood is so thin, I was able to get away with it. If you were using a thicker wood, you probably want to prime. And if you don't over time, the tannins of the wood could show through, but the several years that I've had this on my wall, that has not been a problem. So maybe it will be a problem one day, but for now I'm willing to risk it. And then to get those high spots, I'm busting out my roller extension tool. I love this thing. And then we're going to get this paint job finished up, and then we'll show you the final results. And here is the final result. Y'all, I'm obsessed. I am absolutely in love with how this turned out. And it only took us one weekend. I love how beginner friendly this is, but you can make this into a classic vertical style or use it as a board and batten idea. And the possibilities with this idea are really endless. So I hope that this inspired you to tackle a project you've been waiting to do in your own home. And I will see you in the next one.